Rainbow Dash was happily flying across the sky. This day especially was one of the best she could probably hope to live through. She just learned that if she wanted to join the Wonderbolts, she could take a test and make all odds of that happening rise by way more than 20%. Her methods for taking the test were simple. First, she would go over there and take the test. Second, once she was finished, she would turn it in and earn a passing grade as soon as the instructor was done looking at it. There was no way she could fail this test. She saw Twilight below her, reading about some egghead spell that only unicorns and alicorns could learn. A small prank found its way into her mind. Immediately, she flew down right in front of Twilight, screaming,
"Yeah!"
This made all Twilight's papers fly off in different directions.
"No, Rainbow Dash!"
she heard Twilight say, even though she seemed a good distance away from her.
How in Equestria does that pony expect to pass her History of the Wonderbolts exam tomorrow if she is wasting her time flying?
Rainbow saw a small smirk grow on Twilight's face as she took to the air.
I'm just gonna fly up there and tell her about her lackadaisical approach to studying. Won't she be surprised?
Rainbow took this opportunity to quietly appear in front of Twilight and say,
"Surprise!" "What? Huh?"
Twilight asked, confused.
"How did you—"
"Please, Twilight,"
Rainbow interrupted, flying down onto a nearby cloud.
"That was the worst sneak attack ever."
"What? But—"
Twilight started, also on top of a cloud.
"I saw you giving me the stink eye from the ground, and heard you flying towards me and muttering from a mile away."
"Well, if you heard me muttering, then you must have heard what I was muttering about."
Twilight muttered to Rainbow.
"Yes,"
thought Rainbow.
"Now she's gonna talk about tests." Yeah, the Wonderbolts history test,"
Rainbow said.
"No big deal."
She proceeded to fall backwards from the cloud she was on, as if to emphasize her point. Twilight flew down after her and said,
"No big deal? Really big deal? It's a test."
"Yes, I got her to talk about tests."
A test that will determine if you are ready to form the newly formed Wonderbolt Reserves. And being a part of the Wonderbolt Reserves means you will have the opportunity to be able to live your dream as a Wonderbolt.
She's cute when she's worried about my future.
This is the most important test of your life!
Rainbow sighed, pretending not to care about the test.
Twilight, not every pony gets all freaked out about tests like you. That ought to wind her up.
I do not get all freaked out about tests,
Twilight protested.
Seriously?
Rainbow asked, as if the answer was obvious.
Your freakouts are so epic. You sing whole freakout arias about freaking out.
Fine.
Twilight admitted.
I may take my test seriously, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be studying for yours.
Rainbow saw Twilight's face beam, which probably meant that she had an idea.
I certainly hope she's thinking what I hope she's thinking.
Ooh, and I know just the pony who can help you.
Rainbow purposefully face-hoofed, pretending not to enjoy where this was going.
Me!
Twilight said.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun!
She teleported them to the library, which for some reason was modified to look like a classroom for one student. Rainbow Dash sat in the one desk in the entire room, while Twilight stood in front of a chalkboard.
Yeah,
Rainbow said, trying to withhold her excitement.
fun.
Rainbow sat at the desk she was assigned to. Twilight was busy looking for a book, so she had decided to put on a pair of sunglasses to block out the light. However, this made it so that she could not see. Twilight had found the book she was looking for and slammed it on her desk, making Rainbow Dash jump.
Ah! What? Huh?
She asked in confusion before noticing the seemingly 500-ish pound book that was placed in front of her.
This
Twilight began.
is the most complete
And ginormous.
Rainbow commented before Twilight could finish.
book on the history of the Wonderbolts.
Okay,
Rainbow said.
but how am I supposed to get what's in there
She pointed a hoof at the book.
into here?
She pointed a hoof to her head.
Now now she's probably going to do one of her egghead things that's supposed to help me study.
With my handy-dandy study checklist, of course.
She replied.
Of course.
Rainbow Dash said, trying to sound depressed.
First up, reading and highlighting.
Twilight then began to discuss all the importance about the topic they were on. However, Rainbow Dash was too busy working on a highlighted picture of Twilight in the book to listen. Twilight was just so nice. She loved the way she ranted on about what seemed like nothing to other ponies. Once she was finished with her life-size portrait of Twilight, she started highlighting what she thought was important.
Reading and highlighting is the foundation of any good study method.
Rainbow heard Twilight say.
It allows the student to boil down and focus on what's really important, separating the good from the bad, the wheat from the chaff, getting to the cracks of things.
She picked the book up with her magic, saying,
Let's see what you got so far.
Rainbow said before Twilight opened the book in front of her. A reflection from the sun caught in the inside of the book.
Huh.
Twilight said, on the entire inside of the book, all the words and phrases were highlighted.
By highlighting everything, you don't really separate the wheat from the chaff.
Rainbow dropped her head onto her desk while Twilight continued rambling.
Or the good from the bad.
She eventually reached the page with the life-size portrait of her.
Hey, I am not that tall.
She complained. Rainbow chuckled at what she had drawn.
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that.
The rest of the previous day had been pretty much the same. Twilight had tried to teach her about the Wonderbolts, but only succeeded when she taught Rainbow in a way that she was comfortable being taught. After Twilight taught her all she needed to know about the Wonderbolts, she rested and went straight on down to the testing office. The test was surprisingly easy to do. She knew every answer and finished within 30 minutes of starting. She turned in her paper to the instructor, who took a thorough look through it before placing it back on his table.
Oh no!
Rainbow thought.
What if I didn't make it? What if I didn't become a Wonderbolt?
In the midst of all her sweating, the instructor had stamped the paper. Besides the questions and answers, it said that she had gotten a perfect score.
Yeah! Woohoo!
She screamed with joy.
I have to tell Twilight.
Immediately, she flew as fast as she could back to Ponyville. Upon reaching the town's library, Twilight was at the door waiting for her.
So,
She began.
how did you do?
I aced it!
Came the reply.
And I have you to thank, Twilight.
It was nothing, Rainbow. I would do anything for a friend.
Yeah,
Rainbow said, suddenly depressed.
friends.
What's wrong, Rainbow?
Nothing. I just thought,
What is it?
Twilight, why did you help me study?
Rainbow asked.
Why are you asking me that?
She asked back, nervously.
Because you just seemed to be so willing to help when you didn't have to do that. You just came out of nowhere and were so determined to make sure I aced it. Why?
Before I go answering your question, why were you so willing to have me help?
What do you mean, Twilight?
You seemed so willing to accept my help. I've never seen you sit still that long just to study for a test.
Well,
Rainbow, do you like me?
Rainbow looked back at her in shock.
what?
Do you like me?
Twilight began to shift as she said that. Rainbow sighed.
Yes, Twilight. I do like you.
Twilight remained in her position for another minute.
That's okay.
She finally said. She walked a bit closer to Rainbow as she said that.
Because I like you too, Rainbow.
Rainbow stared back at Twilight, who was slowly walking toward her. Instead of backing off, she allowed her friend to come closer. She felt something new, something she never felt before.
What is this feeling?
She thought.
Why am I suddenly feeling like this?
Twilight stopped a few inches from Rainbow. Both of them looked at each other's eyes. Neither wanted to look away. Both of them had the same feelings for each other.
Now I know what I'm feeling. I love her. And I suppose that she loves me back.
They slowly drew their faces closer to each other. They both slightly blushed as their lips connected into a kiss.